You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
In an era where digital properties dominate, the importance of getting back to basics cannot be overstated. Today, we're unpacking some of the key strategies on the marketing side that you should keep in mind in order to win. Joining us now is Digital Marketing Director for Nielsen Automotive Group, Mr. Colin Carrasquillo. You've seen him here before on CBT News. So, Colin, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule there and your duties at the dealership to spend some time with us here at the station.
You know the drill. Anytime CBT News comes calling, I'm dropping whatever I'm doing, and I'm here to obviously help the dealer community.
Well, we appreciate that, and I know they do as well, so thank you for that. So when getting back to the basics of digital marketing, where do marketers start?
Yeah, so listen, I think the age-old adage is this: it's inspect what you expect. And usually that's when you're talking about leadership in a team, right? But we can apply that same idea, if you will, to our marketing and our digital properties. As you said, everything that we're doing in the automotive space is really becoming, if not has already become, inherently digitally driven, right? Digital ecosystems are dominating everything that the dealerships are doing on an operational daily basis, if you will. So ultimately, inspect what you expect. If you, as a marketer or a dealer, are expecting that when people go to your website, they're going to convert and submit leads, well, inspect the ways that they can do that and ensure that those avenues are in fact working the way that you want them to work, or the way that a person navigates your website or even gets to your website. If you're expecting that this is how a consumer will do X, Y, and Z, you need to inspect that that is in fact happening. Now, I'm going to unpack that just a little bit. Ultimately, right, we're coming back off the heels of NADA, happened a couple months ago. There's all this newfangled technology and great things happening out there. But what I fear we lose sight of is, hey, we've been successful for so long leading up to this wonderful conference or this new technology that's launched that we often sometimes lose sight of the fundamentals and the basics. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that happened to us at Nielsen, because I love to educate through real life experiences, is as a group, right, we utilize shared inventory across our same brand. So we have 4 Stellantis stores. I have shared new inventory across the 4 Stellantis stores. One day I get a red alert, that the leads from one of our websites, right, because we share inventory, are routing, if a consumer's on that website, let's just say it's nielsendodge.com. If someone submits a lead there, that lead should go to Nielsen Dodge's team, even if the vehicle physically sits at one of our other dealerships. Okay. What was happening is the lead was routing from nielsendodge.com to where the vehicle was physically sitting. So now consumer shopping on one of our web properties, they're familiar with that specific dealership and brand. Yeah. But then they're getting a call from one of our sister stores, Dover Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, saying, hey, we received your inquiry. A consumer's like, what's going on? Yeah. Traffic metrics get all screwed up on the website. Yep. Sales volume gets all screwed up across the dealerships. But it's things like this, through this real life experience, that I want to educate the dealer community is just because something has been set some way in the past, right? Technology, it's funny, you know this, has a way of going haywire at some point in time. And sometimes there is no catalyst for it, right? Or there's no paper trail as to why it occurred. So you just accept it, you fix it, you move on. Sure. So things like this, inspect what you expect. That's right. Long story short, short story long. If you want something to work a specific way, make sure you're looking as to, is it working that specific way? Not that I set it up this way at one point in time and then I forgot about it, because that will not be helpful. So
that's right. Couldn't agree more. When it comes to, I think you call it grandma proofing a website, what steps do you recommend to do this?
So this is a very interesting concept, and this was a concept that I actually learned from a very powerful thought leader in the space, but it was Brian Pash, and perhaps he had learned it from someone else. Sure. But anyway, the whole idea was about grandma proofing your website. Make the website, and for that matter, your digital property, so your Google business listings, your social media channels, so on and so forth, so easy to navigate or utilize that your grandma can do it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the concept. It's very simple in the grand scheme of things, but when you really start digging into it, it's not. Right. So the way, if I gave you a task to go to one of our websites and say, hey, find this vehicle, build out these payments on it, and then submit some sort of PII, right, or a lead for our dealership, I guarantee you, Jim, and for that matter, anyone else, test your staff, do this internally, watch how they do it. I guarantee you the way that you do it and the way that I do it and the team that you task to do this, the ways that they go about actually getting to that conversion point are going to be all drastically different. Now, that's good in some instances, right? How many different ways can they get that done on your website? People do shop in different ways, but look at it from different perspectives or avenues. Consumers are so used to using big box retailers or e-commerce sites like Amazon, like Google,
Sure.
And even look at Tesla, right? A competitor in the space for us. They have simplified the process so well that in reality, there's only one way you can go about doing this. But by limiting the ways that people can enter and exit and do all these things, it's actually providing better conversion rates. It's providing better customer experience because a customer is not going to be overwhelmed by all these drop downs and different facets and different exit points or entrance points. It's if they want to go to the website, they're doing a couple things, right? They're looking for a car, whether it's a new or pre-owned vehicle. That's why they're there.
That's right.
Or they want to service their vehicle. Right? Those are really the two main reasons why someone ends up at your website.
That's it. Right.
So if you're making it so challenging for them to do those two things, which in the grand scheme of things are very, very simple, then you need to look at grandma proofing the website. Give them one option. Right? If they want new inventory, just make it one new inventory. You don't need a drop down for the brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe or Wrangler 4xe because Stellantis says, hey, you should have a page dedicated to EV to get more people involved. Someone who's already interested in EV, they'll find it via a Google search. And if your SEO is good, you have those pages built out, they don't need to be in your main navigation. That person will navigate from Google and get to the website through SEO anyway.
Very good point.
Simplify the process, grandma proof it.
Yeah. So have you encountered any challenges in implementing grandma proofing techniques? And if so, have you addressed them or what?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, and these are things, like I said, I only really like to come on here and speak from experience and what I know. And these are things that we have just done at our dealerships. And I have always prided myself on really simplifying the marketing, right? So I don't like overlap in any of the vendor partners we use. Now stick with me on this one. So I don't like overlap. I like to make the analogy that our marketing is like a wheel, right? You have different spokes, which are different advertising medias or mediums. The more spokes you have, the stronger the wheel, right? It can roll, okay? Now, a lot of people I've spoken to in the space have heard that analogy from me before, but the point is, with that, over time, things get very convoluted. You sign on a new vendor partner. Oh, they offer X, Y, and Z. Oh, no, it does overlap with what we're doing here. Perhaps they do it better. Perhaps they offer more. But when it comes to your website, right, the fix usually is, oh, well, if an OEM or you want to get more exposure on this specific product or, you know, whatever it might be. Let's just say it's EV, for example, which we kind of touched on. They say, let's build out a page about electrification and EVs on your website. And you go, yes, let's do that because I can gain SEO value. If there are people shopping in the space for EV, they can navigate to my website. It can be a research hub. I can have all of this great information where now they can get excited about EV. And then great, they're on our website. They can shop our EV inventory. What happens is that becomes a tab on your navigation. Okay. And then the next thing that happens is there's a new product that's launched. This new EV is launched. So now you have your EV research hub, and then you have a model-specific page about the new EV. And then guess what? Another new product's launched. And then you have another one that gets put in. And then another one, and another one, and another one. Next thing you know, your navigations end up becoming 15, 16 different facets where if someone goes on that, they go, oh my God. It's almost so overwhelming. And you have to understand that a majority of the traffic's through your mobile device, right? What's coming to your website. Imagine that as a drop down on the phone.
Forget it.
So we've done this recently. I've just done it across the 13 properties at Nielsen, where I literally, and I'd be more than happy to show or talk to anyone about this, like on our new inventory dropdowns, literally what it is it's new inventory, new electric vehicle inventory, because granted, there is people that are in market for EV,
Sure.
new vehicle specials.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Right.
That's new. That's the new. Now,
Yeah.
of course, then you have pre-owned,
Right.
perhaps you
Keeps
have a
it very
research,
simple.
finance and specials and service, but ultimately, boom, give them three options. We've already seen better navigability, if that's even a word, perhaps, navigability of the websites and people converting and getting to our SRPs or search listings page, whatever you want to call them, and ultimately VDPs. So
Sure.
we're doing it.
Sure. Sure. Hey, moving on to first-party data. How do you prioritize which first-party data to focus on, and how do you ensure its accuracy and relevance?
Yeah, so here's another age-old adage: it's garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for probably the better half of the year, or over a year. You and I, at least, is
Yeah.
align yourself with vendor partners. If you can't do it internally, it is a very, very heavy lift.
Yeah.
Especially when you are asking for involvement from sales staff and management and things like that. Align yourself with a vendor partner who ultimately provides data cleansing, right? Perhaps email appending services, data cleansing, which would be deduplication of your database, so on and so forth. These are issues that tons of dealers I know experience on a daily basis. Ultimately, I'm not going to speak about who we use because that's not what this is about, but the whole idea is just learn to, yes, that garbage in, garbage out. So you want to make sure that your data, which is your own CRM data, when we talk about first-party data, let's just clarify that. So the CRM data you own, DMS data you own, that's your first-party data, is clean. Over the years, it's gotten tainted, it's gotten polluted, and as a result, the more tainted and more polluted it is, the less success you are going to have moving forward with your marketing campaigns, remarketing, so on and so forth. So ultimately, the whole idea is, first, understand that you have all of this data within your CRM and database already. Make sure it's clean. Then you need to say, how am I going to activate the data, right? How are you, in fact, going to slice and dice it to market to consumers? And I'm not just talking about new prospects that come in on a daily basis. I'm talking about your existing customers in your database, right? Do you have strategies in place for off-lease messaging for consumers that may be coming up in terms of their lease? Do you have acquisition messaging, right? And this is all data you can segment out. These individuals have not purchased from us for X amount of time. They have vehicles that are X years old. Let's send them acquisition messaging. These people are coming up or doing their lease in the next 6 months. And, it could even be longer than that, 12, 6, 3. Are we sending messaging out to these individuals so that we, our automotive group, our dealership, whatever it might be, are top of mind when it is time for that consumer to convert? The other exciting thing, which we're activating at a dealership level, and I don't have any sort of patent for this strategy. It is a strategy for that matter. So I do say, hey, when I'm on here, let's let dealers try it out as well. From a group level, we have the luxury, right, of having over 10 stores. So we have the 12 dealerships. Actually cross-pollinating. Now you'd say, why would you do that? But cross-pollinating the data between our different dealerships. So follow me. Imagine an hourglass. So top of the sales funnel, right, is your normal purchase process. There is a point at the bottom where an individual converts. Ultimately, if you have a BDC or your sales staff is doing the follow-up, let's say they don't get the individual to ultimately purchase from your dealership. What the BDC or sales staff will do is mark that lead as bad, dead, inactive, lost.
Right.
We have statistics, tools that we utilize, that I see specifically, that show that individuals that have been marked as dead, bad, lost, inactive are actually still engaging with our messaging that's going out. Now, it's different messaging. It's email drip marketing that we're employing, but it's somewhere to the tune of 10% of overall traffic on a monthly basis. Now, you say, that's not a lot when it's thousands of people, but that's where you're wrong, because it is a lot. Now, let's say ultimately that's all incremental growth, right? It's things that are essentially found business you would not have had because they were lost, dead, or inactive. But when I talk about cross-pollinating the data, what I'm saying is this, Jim. Let's say someone comes in as a Jeep customer, okay? They come to one of our 4 Stellantis stores. We can't get the deal done, whether it's we just rub them the wrong way, our follow-up process isn't great enough, or affordability is an issue.
Sure.
These are all just 3 potential scenarios. What I'm going to do is when that person's marked dead, lost, or inactive, I'm going to take that data. I'm going to pull all the people that have been marked dead, lost, or inactive together. And now I'm going to remarket them from my Ford store. I'm going to remarket them from my Chevy store. So I'm going to start with domestic first. And let's say they're interested in an SUV. We talk about Jeep. So I'm going to market them Explorer. And then I'm going to market them Equinox.
Great idea.
And so on and so forth until we do in fact know that this person is not in market anymore. Okay. But then if we do in fact know that, because there are signals through the digital realm that we can see, then I market them service. And the whole idea is instead of losing them at that point where they're marked dead, bad, lost, inactive, I'm now keeping them within our automotive group umbrella. I think this is how massive corporations like AutoNation and Lithia and all those guys and gals operate. We can do it on the group level, and even smaller stores can do it as well. So that's how we're unlocking this data.
Yeah, it's a great idea. There's no question about it. As were all of the other ideas that you shared with our audience. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Colin Carrasquillo, the Digital Marketing Director for Nielsen Automotive Group. Thank you so much for joining us here on Inside Automotive. We very much appreciate it. And thank all of you for watching today. Don't forget, you can also access all of our content here at CBT News, in-depth interviews and original shows on Roku and Apple TV. So thank you so much, Colin, for joining us on the show. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.